Anybody else out there want to just turn the page on a new week besides me? Oh my, let's do. How about if we do it together? Thomas Miller here on the Fun Astrology Podcast. Glad you're with me. Welcome to my van. I'm on the road right now. I'll be in and out over the next couple of weeks, but this one's coming to you from the van. I've actually been up in the woods in North Carolina out of internet reach, so it's been kind of nice, but I'll tell you what, it was an adjustment to not reach for that phone in the morning, and it's a good reminder of how attached to the electronics we are. All right, let's take a look at the sky, and I thought the first place to start would be from 10,000 feet. Actually, the first place to start is with a couple of announcements. One is, if you will check on our funastrology.com website page, Kristen Lawhead has done a lunar calendar for us all. It's free to download. Wonderful contribution. Thank you for that, Kristen. Go to funastrology.com to download yours as a PDF. And the second is just a segue into what we're going to be talking about. I revised the retrograde calendar, so while you're there on the website, you can check out the retrogrades for the rest of this year. And I made it just in sequential order so you can see exactly what's already in and when they come out. So as we go up to 10,000 feet, retrogrades are a big part of what's happening. I'm going to cover just the landscape of this week, next week, and then the last week of August, which extends into the first couple of days of September, because that's when Venus goes direct and Jupiter goes retrograde. So a lot to talk about here. This borders on one of those astrological discussions that your eyes can gloss over, but what you might want to do is get pen and paper or some kind of way to capture this and write the sequence of these down, because it is going to be worth, if you follow the stars and if you want to know where these are in your own chart, there are going to be quite a few things to look up. So every time we mention a planet in aspect with another planet, that would be something that you would want to identify in your own chart, what house and sign and other aspects are there with the two planets that we're mentioning in your own chart. That's how you bring this home. Another way to bring it home is every day for the rest of August into September, be looking at your chart with a transit chart over it. Keep an eye on this because it's way too much to let slip, and you're going to want to know what's coming up. So we'll try to be looking forward as much as possible. But really, we have 3 things this week, 3 things next week, and 3 things the week after that. So let's dig in here. And we begin with today. So first of all, what kind of moon do we have today? A Leo moon as of 6:36 this morning Eastern Time. Leo, for the next couple of days, you're going to want to express, you're going to want to be heard, you may even want to get out there and roar. But then later this morning, 10:55 a.m., Venus trines Chiron. So that begins our little sequence. Actually, it also makes it 4 things this week as well. 4 this week, 3 next week, 3 the next. But Venus trining Chiron. And you're going to notice that there is kind of this pattern of Mars, the sun is in here quite a bit, and that's simply from the structure of this chart, because now we really have planets drawing up a couple of sides. So we have the Leo-Taurus square. Everything in Leo is at some point squaring everything in Taurus. And then we have Virgo trining everything up in Taurus. So there's the Earth trine. And then what we have with Pluto and Saturn and Neptune sitting on the other side of the chart, a lot of that's going to end up in inconjuncts and oppositions to the Leo-Virgo side. So that's just the nature of the structure of this chart, is why these things are showing up the way they are. But there's a lot of personal introspection. So think about it. Today, Venus trining Chiron. There is, remember, under Venus retrograde, we're in this what's important to us reevaluation. Well, we have a wound that we bring into our lives. It's represented in the charts, and it is something that really we have an opportunity to always be reminded of. So the sequence of these next 3 weeks begins right there with that. And then tomorrow, the sun squares Uranus. There's the Leo-Taurus square. Boom. That's tomorrow night at 10:30. So in our Facebook group, we've been hearing a lot of people have been through a lot of challenges over this past week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks period. And here it is, all culminating. So Venus is bringing us to look at our wounds, those deep inner wounds. There's the reason the sun tomorrow night, the sun squaring Uranus, there's the reason why. Then, you want a new beginning? Well, Wednesday morning, early, 5:38, the new moon in Leo. New creative energy coming in on Wednesday, but then, just a couple of hours later, Mars trines Uranus. And this is the other macro that we need to understand, because Uranus is slowing down and goes retrograde on Monday the 28th. That's 2 weeks out. But you have to realize this is a slow mover anyway, and it is now at a crawl. So Uranus is affecting us. That's why all these unexpected or strange or out of the ordinary things are taking place. So that's Wednesday. And then to round out this week, Saturday, the sun trines the north node of the moon. So right there, you get the picture that basically we're talking about the opportunity for us to experience some external events, that's the sun and Mars aspects, to go in and work on these issues in our soul. So the thing is if we miss the lessons, then we've missed the whole purpose of this. And that's what we don't want to do. So when you experience something, we need to bring it in, and we need to go run it through the filters of the spiritual work that we're doing, because in all of these things, there's an opportunity to grow. That's our work, is to go find it, right? That's our responsibility, is to go find the area of growth. All right, I had good intentions at the beginning of the podcast. I didn't get them fulfilled, so let's roll that into tomorrow. We'll look at the next 2 weeks over at least the next 2 days, because tomorrow we do have that Sun-Uranus square to take a look at it. So be ready for that, while at the same time today, Venus has trined Chiron. Find those two in your chart. You'll know what to work on today. And let me remind you, just periodically we mention this, that if you need to learn astrology to the point where you could glance at your chart and know what those areas are, we have the 101 Fun Astrology 101 course that we put together. It's 12 to 15 hours of material. I think it's like 15 hours of material that walks you through how to learn how to do all of this. And that's available on the funastrology.com website. If you really want to get into this, you have to learn, and that's why we built that bridge. You can cross and you can learn astrology. Thank you so much for listening. Bring your pen and tablet with you tomorrow, and we'll finish this out, all right? Have a great day. Love you. Take care. Let's have a great week together.